Gene Hackman, a name synonymous with Hollywood royalty. He graced our screens with his powerful presence, his talent undeniable. From The French Connection to Unforgiven, he captivated us with his range and depth. After a long and illustrious career, he chose to step away from the limelight. He retreated to the quiet solitude of Santa Fe, New Mexico with his beloved wife, Betsy Arakawa. Betsy, a talented pianist and businesswoman, became his rock, his confidant. Together, they built a life away from the prying eyes of Hollywood. They were a private couple, their world carefully guarded. The high desert offered them solace, a refuge from the clamor of fame. Their days were spent in the company of each other, their bond unbreakable. They were content in their seclusion, their love a quiet force that resonated through the years. But fate, it seems, had a cruel twist in store. Their story, like many great love stories, was not destined for a fairy tale ending. It was a story etched in sorrow, a tragedy that unfolded in the silence of their Santa Fe home, a tragedy that would only come to light weeks later. The New Mexico desert, with its stark beauty and unforgiving climate, holds many secrets. It was here, in the sanctuary of their home, that tragedy began to unfold. Betsy, always the active one, had been running errands. A trip to the grocery store, a quick stop at the pharmacy, picking up supplies for their beloved dog at the pet store. Little did she know, danger lurked in the air, unseen, insidious. Hantavirus, a deadly disease carried by rodents, often through their droppings. It's a silent threat, spreading through the air, waiting to infect. Betsy, unknowingly, had crossed its path. The virus took hold, its grip tightening with each passing day. She may not have even known she was sick, the symptoms mimicking a bad flu. By February 11th, 2025, Betsy Arakawa was gone, taken too soon by a silent killer. Gene, his mind ravaged by Alzheimer's, remained oblivious to the tragedy that had befallen his beloved wife. He was trapped in a world of shadows, his memories fading with each passing day. He wouldn't have understood why Betsy wasn't by his side. He wouldn't have understood that he was now alone. Days turned into weeks. The silence from the Hackman residence was deafening. Neighbors, accustomed to their reclusiveness, didn't think much of it at first. But as time wore on, a sense of unease began to settle in. Where were Gene and Betsy? Why hadn't they seen them? Finally, on February 26th, concerned friends reached out to the authorities. A welfare check was requested, a sense of dread hanging heavy in the air. When the sheriff's deputies arrived, they were greeted by an eerie silence. The house was locked, no signs of forced entry. Something was terribly wrong. Inside, a scene of unimaginable sadness awaited them. Betsy's body was discovered in the bathroom, a tragic testament to the swift and silent killer that had claimed her. Gene, his body weakened by heart disease and his mind lost in the fog of Alzheimer's, was found in another room. He had likely succumbed to heart failure, unaware of the tragedy that had already taken his beloved Betsy. The news of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa's passing sent shockwaves through the world. The couple, so private, so fiercely devoted to each other, had met their end in the most tragic of circumstances. Their love story, once whispered about in hushed tones, became a tale tinged with sadness, a reminder of the fragility of life. Friends and colleagues were left reeling, their grief compounded by the isolation that had defined the couple's final years. Why hadn't they reached out more? Why hadn't they recognized the signs? The questions lingered, a painful echo of what could have been. Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa may be gone, their love story tragically cut short, but their legacy lives on. He, a giant of cinema who brought to life characters that will forever be etched in our memories. She, a talented musician, his rock, his soulmate. Together, they navigated the complexities of life and love, their bond unbreakable to the very end.